welcome back to Coffee and Chaos. Steph, Tony,
Hey.
Solomon, hola.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Everybody had a good Thanksgiving.
Yes, great.
No family drama. No one threw a turkey out the window.
No.
Well,
I was ready
sorta.
for it though.
Were you? Our Thanksgiving was so absolutely perfect because my nephew's home now,
Uh-huh.
and
I bet he was just loving it.
Oh, he's like, I
Did
gotta
he have
stop
3
eating.
plates?
Oh, that's the thing. He's like, him and Seth and BJ now, they're all like going to the gym.
Uh-huh.
But, my son and my sister's boys, they gain weight very easily. So they're both like, after Thanksgiving, they're like, that's it. We're done.
Yeah,
All
we
3
start
boys
working
are
out.
like, we're not eating. And they had to tell my mom, like, stop baking. We're going to all be fat. Like,
Well, they
you
still
know.
got Christmas.
I know. So I think between now and Christmas, but just him being home, like my heart was so content. Like he's
Aw.
home, he's safe. And he has like, he's all me. So my daughter is all my sister and my nephew's all me. We
Okay.
should have swapped kids.
Yeah.
So he's like I took a picture of the 3 boys outside and
Mhm.
Seth's like all muscly and my nephew slipping off the camera. But then my baby, Michael, he's like, hi, Auntie. Like it's such a cute picture. Like I was just happy. So we had a great Thanksgiving.
Hey, what's that hanging over your head up there?
Oh, beautiful disaster.
So wait,
there's-
which one of you is it referring to, though?
Probably more. Well, I mean,
Me.
she's beautiful, but I'm the disaster.
You are so beautiful. I hate when you say that.
But I don't mean outside. I always talk about our insides and what we go through in life.
Yeah,
and
but in
where-
general, you are beautiful
Oh,
inside and out.
I thank you. Thank you very much. I know where I started and all the stairs
Yeah.
I had to climb. And there was times in my life that I didn't like me because of bad decisions that I chose to make.
But
So-
that's how you grow.
Mhm.
100%. That's why now. And there's a song it's 311, the group 311. You guys know that song,
Yeah.
Beautiful
Yeah.
Disaster? So Baby Daddy introduced me to that group. And I loved the song then, but I wouldn't listen to it for years, just bitterness.
Mhm.
But then I was like, but that's what I am, a beautiful
Yeah.
disaster.
You mean pettiness?
What?
Nothing.
What did you say? Did you say being petty?
No, I said not bitterness, more like pettiness.
Oh, totally pettiness. Yeah.
It's okay to be petty.
Is it? I think in my 20s and
Depends
30s,
on what happened.
Yeah.
Like I have a saying, you go low, I go lower.
How low can you go? Okay, so are we ready?
Yeah. Go.
We are going to talk about, again, you guys are way younger. I come from
Way younger. Wait. Whoa.
Here
Well,
we go.
wait, we just
A couple
talked about
years
an
younger than-
no, we talked about an event that happened, and I was ready for you guys to be like, "Oh, I was at work or something." My daughter was in junior high, and she was like, "Oh, I was in junior high when that happened." I was like, "Oh my god, I feel so old."
Yeah, I was
Like-
in high school.
Yeah, I was already working with like 2 kids. Like
I was
felt
reading
old.
the newspaper, eating my cereal, watching the news. I was a little old man when I was in high school.
Okay, so dating. When you first meet somebody, are you dating them? Are you hanging out with them? Like, what is it class?
Who was that? Did you hear that frog?
Yeah, did you?
Remember I said what I had to do before we went on camera? It finally
Oh.
came. Yeah.
Is that what that was? I thought that was somebody's phone or
No,
something.
No, not at all. So when you meet somebody, because I hear today's like sometimes like, and it's like the younger generation, like, oh, we're just hanging out, or he's not my boyfriend or girlfriend yet. Wait, you guys have been inseparable for 3 weeks. How is that not your boyfriend? How are you not dating?
Yeah.
So have times changed from when I was dating when I was younger, or I'm not dating now, but if I was, I don't think I would hang out with
I
somebody.
think the verbiage has changed
Yes.
because back when I was in my 20s, it was called
Wanna go
called
around?
talk. Yeah, we were talking.
Do
remember
you
that?
want to go around?
Go around. I remember
Yeah,
that.
it was just
Yeah.
talking.
Oh,
literally.
but
We're talking.
But talking was talking
yeah.
because you didn't have
No,
texting.
but it was hanging
you didn't,
out.
But you didn't
like,
have texting. You talked on your house phone when your parents weren't
not
home
me.
or
I was
something,
texting.
You know what I mean?
Or your
Oh, I
little
guess
brother
you
was
were
picking up the phone and listening to the conversation.
Oh yeah.
Sorry,
Mhm.
Regina.
Yeah. My brother would sit on the phone with his girlfriend all night, and he got caught so many times. She got caught so many times. Like, oh yeah, like 3 a.m. Remember when you're in there? So I think you're right. The verbiage has changed, but
yeah, but it's the same thing.
is it?
It is.
I don't. If someone's like, okay, let's say you and I start dating because we're both single,
Oh
right?
God, no I'm kidding.
Yes.
And I was like, oh yeah, Tony and I are going on a date. We're going to dinner, like, right?
Mhm.
But then he tells Reg, oh yeah, we're just hanging out. Like, I'll
We're
see
just
her
going to dinner.
Like, that's gonna make me feel like I'm nothing. Because
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give my time, especially at this point in my life, to somebody I'm just hanging out with.
Oh yeah.
I think that term, I don't know a lot of older people that say, "Oh, we're just talking." They're like, "No, I'm taking her out on a date." It also comes with maturity. I feel like the
Right.
less mature guys say that type of thing to seem like they're playing the field and they're not tied down,
Yeah.
you know? So I don't really think that the older, I mean, 30 and up, you shouldn't be saying that
See, and I
anymore.
agree with you. But when I'm at work,
She's a pending order. She's in the shopping cart.
yeah.
Wow, I
I'm
haven't heard
just
that one
kidding.
before.
But
I love that sentence.
I was at work and I was asking all the guys at work, and a lot of them who are in their 30s and 40s were like, "Oh no, we're just like I would just be hanging out there." I'm like, why are you hanging out? You're dating. They're
I
like,
think it just depends on like the way where you are in life. Like with myself, if I'm seeing somebody or my intention is to date, like you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like
Yeah.
if
Like, why waste your time?
if I had a situation and I was finding myself attracted to this person after
a
talking to them.
situation? What type
Well,
of
no, I'm just saying,
situation
like,
would you be in?
no, I'm just talking like in general. Like if I was talking to her on the phone a lot
Mhm.
Mhm.
or whatever.
See,
and
that yeah, if you're talking
and
and texting,
yeah, talking to okay, you know what? I'm really digging Alina because we're
yeah,
talking and texting or whatever.
Mhm.
Hey, you know what? You wanna go grab a bite to eat?
that's a
Yeah.
date, right?
You wanna go to Cheesecake Factory?
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
since you brought
I ain't going there.
yeah, since you brought that up on a first date, what is or isn't allowed? Like, I wouldn't necessarily go to a movie on a first date because you're not spending time with that
No.
person, right?
Yeah.
You're like sitting next to them and you're just quiet, and I can't ever shut the hell up.
Yeah.
So I would probably turn him off.
You would need to go to like a drive-in movie.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
I love drive-ins.
that would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. I don't.
See, like, I
sit
already got
quiet
a
in
whole
a movie.
envision. Me and Alina
Yeah.
going driving in her truck. We had an air mattress sitting on the bed of the truck with pillows.
Wait,
watching-
why do we need an air mattress in
For
the back of
for
the
the
truck?
you know,
yeah,
the
so you can sit down.
comfort.
Yeah, the comfort. You
So
have
you
the
Why
sit
aren't
down,
you just
watch
sitting
the
in the
movie.
front seat?
to get the full on freaking.
Okay, well, so
drive-in
I'm
experience.
traumatized by the drive-in movies. So we went to the drive-in movies as kids with my mom,
God.
and we had my grandpa's van, and it was all of us, and we went and saw E.T. And me being me, like at the end of it, I was like, and my mom was like, "Oh God, she's crying. Oh God, she's crying." And I was like, "And he's gonna die." I was
No, he went home. He didn't
Never mind. I
die.
guess we can't go to the drive-in.
and I don't
Scratch
think
that
I've
one.
ever been to the drive-in since then.
Freaking Alina.
Yes, and
No, but like I was saying, like my intention is to see and like conversate with her so you can full on
Yeah.
like see where this is gonna go. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And I would my intention is just to date, like and eventually go
Yeah.
further on as far as the relationship and say, okay, you know what?
What's
Yeah,
the
listen-
difference though of you hanging out with a girl and going on a date with a girl?
Well, let me jump in really
Oh,
quick.
he sighed. Did you hear him sigh like he was annoyed?
Okay,
Yeah.
there's a difference between date and dating. Okay, I mean, you go out on dates to get to know people.
Right.
You know, that's how it works. So it's not, yeah, dating is like when you've gone out a few times and you guys have come to some conclusion that you're going to be relatively exclusive.
Yeah.
And that's a conversation. That's communication. But going out on a date is getting to know somebody. And however people describe it, I mean, it's up to them at that point, you know. But yeah, it's two different things.
Yeah.
Well,
Very different.
so I thought, but I've heard different. I even asked Seth because he's 23 and he dates or whatever. And I thought for sure he was gonna be like, "Oh no, I'm just hanging out," like da da. And he's like, "No, it's a date. Like if I'm going out with a girl to dinner or something, that's a date." I'm like,
Mhm.
"Well, then why do a lot of kids?" And he said, "Kids my age are just hanging out because they're being hoes and they're
Yeah.
just using people.
They
and
don't
not-
want to be
it's-
tied down.
Yeah, they exactly. And I think it's so different. Like, and I'll just use Javier because he's not here, and not bringing anybody else up. Like I had known he wanted to go out with me or hook up, vice versa. Everybody was telling each other, right?
Go
So-
around.
Yeah. So So it was Thanksgiving night. We were at Gina's house, and her mom was out of town, and we got into all kinds of trouble. But
Mhm.
everybody was there, so that's the first night him and I hooked up. And from that moment on, we were like never inseparable. We never
Yeah.
had a discussion. We never said, "Are we dating? Are we hanging out?" We just knew.
New. Yeah.
And I feel like that doesn't exist anymore.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Because everybody's like you said, in the cart, pending.
Yeah.
Like you're like, do I want to order this? Do
Yeah.
I not? So
Mhm.
I feel like it's so different today because everybody's morals have changed so much.
Oh, without a doubt. That's coming back to the whole chivalry and freaking the old school mentality. Like, you know what I mean? When it comes to that dating stuff, where
And social
the guy
media
comes to
as
the guy comes to the door and introduces themselves to pick up the girl or whatever, not just honk and okay, come on out. Like,
or
Well,
a
wait,
text.
yeah,
okay,
I'm here. Like that's nice.
What do you do?
Have fun out there?
Because you're
the door.
because you're not. Wait, hold on. Let me clarify something. Let me clarify the way I'm going to ask it.
Okay.
You are older now, like so. A girl that you're dating doesn't live at home with mom and dad, right? She lives
Lives on
on
her
her own.
Right.
So you actually go to the door. You park the car.
Well,
Because you've picked me up. We've never dated, but me, you,
Right.
and Reg have gone to the movies, and you've literally text, "I'm outside," and I'm like, "Here I
Yeah.
come." Like, so that's hanging out.
yeah,
Like,
that,
okay.
those are
So-
that's friends. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
hey, I do the same thing with like anybody. Hey, I'm here. Come on out.
So a girl that you're gonna actually take
if-
out on a date.
If I'm on a date and I'm really digging her,
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving her the warning that, hey, you know what? I'm at the light around the corner from your house. Pull up. I put my hazards on or whatever. Park. Get out. And then as she's coming out, I open up the door for her. She
Yeah.
gets in. Close the door. Get back.
Oh,
in.
you opened the door for her?
Yeah. Why not?
Oh, how cute.
That's just yeah.
Yeah, so
That
I
should be normal.
so I have
You're
gone
right.
on, I have gone on dates in the last 5-6 years, And I get what you said. I'm here, and my dumb ass is like, "All right, let's go outside." Like there's
But see, that's stuff that you're not
Well,
used to.
but this
you know
is
what I mean?
another
Like,
thing.
whoa.
No, I also have a kid at home that I'm hiding stuff from.
Yeah.
And not that I have to hide it, but Seth doesn't need to know that person. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like for me, let me just know when you're here. So that's probably another reason why they just text.
Yeah.
Because I don't want Seth to be like, "Who's this chump?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Who's the guy in the white Camry?
oh, well, and he has. He has. Like, I've literally been dropped off. He's like, "Oh, so we just hang out with the guy with the truck now?" And I'm like, "Oh, my bad. Did you see that?" And now it's crazy because now now that my nephew's home, the two boys, my two nephews are always at my house and Seth's always at. So if let's say again, since you're here, we start dating, they're going to see and catch on and be like, "Well, who's this guy?" And I'm like so petrified now to bring someone there because all three of them are like 6 feet tall. All three of them baby me, right? So if you walked in and we're sitting down having Thanksgiving dinner and you're like, "Hey, go get me a beer," they'd be like, "Who are you
I
talking
wouldn't
to?"
say give me a beer. I'd be
Yeah.
like,
guys talk
I
like
would
that.
get I would
Where do you
get up
find
and
guys
say,
like
hey, do
that?
you want something to drink?
Oh, you'd be
Whatever, and I-
surprised. I see it with my friends and their guys, and I'm like, "Ooh,
no.
Yeah. So now I really, especially my nephew that's
See, the
home.
old school mentality is like she's gonna offer. She's
Mhm.
gonna say, "Hey, you want me to fix you a plate, or do you want
Yeah.
me to?
Yeah.
You want me to get you a drink? Oh yeah, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
But my nephew that's home, he's actually the closest. We have like, he'll come and lay up on me. Like, we'll watch a movie. He's always known about every guy that I've dated. Like, I've always, like,
Yeah.
my sister says I scarred him with girls because of me. So even now, like, if I start dating someone, I would tell him. But now that he's now 30, he's not 12 or 18 or you know what he
Yeah,
was.
he's not a little kid.
Now his mentality is like, wait, hold up. Who is this guy with my auntie, right?
Yeah.
So now I would definitely be like, "Hey, I'll meet you around the corner. Don't come to the house."
Meet me at Averill Park."
Yeah. I'll be there in 5 minutes. I'm coming. Yeah. So on a first date, since you brought up the whole Cheesecake Factory thing, what restaurants, because we saw the thing on TikTok, right? The girl that was mad that she went to the Cheesecake Factory. I love Cheesecake Factory.
I've taken.
I didn't know
Very
that you
good.
couldn't go there.
I've gone on a date to Cheesecake Factory, and she loves it.
But,
Yeah.
but why is
Or
that the
loved it.
number one place that you don't go to on a date?
I think it's because it's very cliche as an upscale place. It's like one of the upscale places that everybody goes to and everybody knows about.
Yeah. She made a point to say he took me to a fast
chain
or a
restaurant.
chain restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what is
So-
wrong with that?
I don't think there's
Especially on a first date.
You know what?
Yeah.
I had a.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just think I definitely don't think you should take someone to fast food.
well, no.
Like that's just like
Well, you could grab
Well, a
fast
bit
food if you're going to
much.
go watch the sunset, right?
Right.
Like we were saying,
Yeah.
Chipotle.
Well, yeah.
I'm going to go grab Chipotle. I'm going to pick you up. We'll go watch the sunset.
Yeah.
Or we're going to go have a picnic. You could do something like that.
But I'm not gonna say, hey,
Look,
Alina,
look
you
at
want to go?
Solomon. Solomon shaking his head no.
Well, okay, so first of all, the thing that's wrong with it is it's just cliche. I mean, it's like it's nothing special. I think what she was talking about is wanting to have a unique experience. Like if I were to take Alina out on a date, I'd go to Blue Water Grill, which is in Redondo. Because it's not a huge
Jesus.
chain, it's not super well known, it's an upscale experience, it's not crazy expensive, and it's just something unique, and I think that's
Yeah.
what she
But
was
you
talking
don't save
about.
that for okay, so since you said that, you don't save that for somebody you're really into.
I was just gonna say that. Like,
Or you have to know the person you're taking. Because if you took me to that, I guess the food would have to be good, but I don't need that type of thing.
Well,
You know?
okay, so don't get the wrong idea, it's not like Nobu, you know what I'm saying?
I don't even know what Nobu is.
Well, it's like
Oh.
yeah, ask Stephanie, she
Yeah,
knows.
you need to go there.
But it's not like this ultra high end or, places like that, but it's just a nice place that's reasonably priced, that's unique, and it's by the
Okay.
water,
but see,
and
but that's
it's just a nice thing.
where
Okay.
I go, where it's like, okay, you know what?
Mhm.
For instance, I'm gonna fill her out. We're going to Cheesecake Factory. Next thing you know, we're gonna go to like, I don't know, Nobu, or we're gonna go to freaking
Yeah.
Morton's
Was
or something
Nobu the
like.
place he was going to take her to originally? The girl in the TikTok, but they went to Cheesecake because she was late. Didn't he have a reservation
He
somewhere?
had some I forgot what it
Yeah, he
was.
was supposed to take her to another restaurant, but yeah, that's how I would do it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna.
But see, I'm the type of girl like you didn't like this one. What I was like, but I love Applebee's. You're like,
Well,
I think Applebee's is like if some guy's like,
Yeah,
hey,
but
I
you know what?
don't
Also,
like
too, I was gonna say, I do have a friend though, or had a friend. He was, he's like, oh, it's a chain restaurant.
what does
I'm like,
that
"What?" I
matter?
was like, yeah. That's why I says like, what does that matter?
I don't know. I guess
confused.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's kind
I
of like going to
don't think-
dockside. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
But why? I'm sorry. On a first date, if you give her everything, what does she have to look forward to?
Right.
So I feel
Exactly.
like my grandpa told me, like, if you ever get married, your diamond should start out small and you should work up to the big diamond in 10, 15, 20
That's
years,
how
right?
That's honestly like how I feel.
And so for a first date,
Yeah.
if he takes you somewhere, then you are going to get accustomed to that and think that's what every date's going to be
Every
like.
date. Exactly. Yeah.
So on that list, it was like Applebee's. Like there were some good things, like don't go to a movie on a first date, which I agree with, right?
Yeah,
Don't go
you
to
can't
church.
you can't talk at
Yeah.
at a movie theater.
Don't go to church. Don't go to the gym. Like I agree with all that stuff, but
Don't invite him to your friend's wedding, stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Why would you take a first date to a wedding?
oh yeah,
you couldn't
first
be
date, no.
yourself.
Because the food is free and you get to dress up.
Oh, I guess, but that's hard because you're not even really talking because you're at a wedding and you're enjoying the wedding, right? The
Right.
moment
Yeah.
you're not really socializing one on one. And I don't know, like I went on a blind date once. Worst thing ever. I'll never do it again.
I'll never do that.
Oh, never. And I did it. I did it as a favor, and it literally he kept trying to get me to eat sushi. Well, I was like maybe 19 or 20, and I was like, I don't like sushi. I don't want. And he ended up shoving it literally in my mouth.
Oh,
And I was like,
that's
"You-"
just weird.
Oh, I was like, can you take me home? Just take me home.
I would have spit it on him
Did
and
you
walked
choke?
out.
Oh.
Like, are you serious? Shove food in my mouth?
Oh yeah, it was like the worst thing ever, and I was like, never again.
That's so
Never.
weird.
So I do think first.
Why
date-
did you just
You have the
close-
funniest
close
stories,
them?
Alina. Oh my god, no wonder you're so traumatized.
Why did you let him do that though?
Because I was young, right? And two, I didn't already want to be there. I didn't like as soon as I saw him, I was like, oh God, no wonder why he couldn't get it. That sucks to say.
Yeah.
But it was so traumatizing. And I didn't want to be there, but I did it as a favor to somebody. And so I just kind of and he kept like making me feel less than him. And in my
Right.
head, I was like, fool, whatever. So we sat down to eat dinner. It was at I think his company's banquet or something. He's like, oh, have that. Well, I had never even eaten anything but rice and beans at this point, right? So he was like, do you want raw fish? And I was like, no. And so
So wait,
as-
he took you to a company mixer on a first date?
Yes.
See, that you say people don't take people to weddings. That's just as
Yeah,
bad.
that's just
Freaking
bad.
weird.
Yeah.
It was. So as we were talking, he was like, here. And I was like, oh. And then I couldn't spit it out because I felt stupid. I was like, oh God. Oh God, don't throw it up. Don't throw it up. So I think another reason why I don't eat sushi is I'm scarred.
God.
Oh, so
So
you
I can't
still
take her to
don't
the
eat
drive-in.
I
I
love
can't take her to get sushi.
I love sushi.
I got to meet her around the corner,
See,
down the block, up
I'm
around the
cool.
sushi?
mulberry
Yeah, that's
bush.
working too hard.
Just get Chipotle and let's go watch the sunset. I'm super easy. And I don't that's what I'm saying. First dates, for
Well, I
me,
don't know why the guy isn't asking the girl what she wants to do on a first
Because
date.
guys are expected to sort of take the lead and
Yeah,
stuff
take
like that. You
charge.
can't be like, "What do you wanna do?" And then, you
Well,
know
yeah, it's gonna be just like if we're trying to figure out a topic to
Yeah.
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
talk about.
But look, the whole point is that it should be a
Hey,
unique
coming from the
experience,
guy
though.
who wouldn't answer.
so last night, background,
Oh
we
my
had 3
God.
topics in hand, right? We didn't know which one we wanted, and so Stephanie and I are going back, and this schmuck over here won't respond to a text, and we finally say like, "Hey, can you answer?" And he's like, "This is just as bad as you guys deciding what you want to eat." And I was just like, I flipped him off, like,
Like,
But it was
really?
true.
then just decide for us. If you already know that, then just decide.
Yeah,
Like,
you can't hold us to that standard when you can't even figure out.
I was
and,
busy.
and that's what not that busy.
I know.
And that's what it was. He couldn't figure it out, so he
Yeah.
wanted us to decide.
Yeah.
And I feel like on a date, you kind of have to know that girl by the time you guys go on a
Oh,
date
absolutely.
to
Yeah.
know what she wants.
And you
where
can
she
ask a
wants-
few probing questions. It's okay, like, "What kind of food do you like? Are you a vegetarian?"
Yeah.
That type of thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
see,
but
like
you don't wanna be like, "Well, what do you wanna do?" I mean, that
No,
makes a
no, I
bad
meant
impression.
like, what do you want? Like, what type of foods are you interested in? And that way you can kind of figure out where to take them.
see, but
And
then the
Yeah.
thing is, like, with my last situation where she liked everything, but it was like,
yeah.
it was so much. It was like, okay, where you want? Oh, anything's fine with me. I'm not picky. I'm like, oh, I gotta
See, well,
think of this one. Let me go. Then
I
let's go
say
Cheesecake
I'm not
Factory.
picky, but then if you're like, let's go get Mexican, I had that last night. Well, let's get
Yeah.
pizza. No, like, well, then just tell me what you want,
Yeah.
So
I'd keep going down
And
the
then once I
list.
found her,
I would,
once I
honestly.
found her go to, then it was like, okay, let's go here a couple times. And
Yeah.
like, okay, cool. Yeah.
And do you
Yeah.
think that people have their set places to go to, like
Oh,
that
absolutely.
they like? And
Oh,
because that's
yeah.
me. There's
Yeah, I'm the same way.
I'm the same way. But I'm not a big like I don't if we're gonna go somewhere and eat, I just want something simple. I don't need a big
Well, because you've
big-
been traumatized with
Yeah,
it.
well, like everybody talks about 555. I've never been there. There's another
I wouldn't eat there to save
I haven't
my
had
life.
555.
there's another place, Mastros, what is it called?
Yeah,
And see,
master.
that is not a first date thing.
My kids have been there a few times. I have never been there.
Well, that's like me. Like I've never been to Morton's, and
I've
did
never
wanna
been to
go-
Morton's.
Morton's Steakhouse. I want to go
Yeah,
there.
I've never been there. But if you ask me if I want steak, I'd be like, let's go to Sizzler.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
The Sizzlers on PCH is
Oh.
gone, and I'm so bummed.
she's traumatized.
Oh, I'm totally. So when we,
I didn't even know they serve steak there. What the heck?
That's why it's
talking
called Sizzler.
At
oh my
Sizzler?
God, that steak was. So,
I thought it was like a pizza place or something.
no, his sister and I and a few of our girlfriends went to Palm Springs for her birthday, and we saw a Sizzler sign. So we said on the way back we're stopping, and his sister was like, "Yeah, no." On the
Yeah.
way back we stopped, and your sister was like, "Oh my God, I haven't had this in so long. It's so good." Like I was so happy. I was eating my steak and
I
my
used to get happy when my
cheese
mom would take
toast.
us there. I'd be like, "Hey, I got
Yes.
ice cream, soft serve with the swirl."
So for me, a first date is like, even if he said that, I'd be like, let's go. And I'd be impressed, like, ooh, we're going to Scissors. I'm happy.
That's funny.
Like, I didn't realize that the world has jumped so much that you have to, on a first date, go to somewhere so defined.
I won't say defined, but it's like you want to. I mean, me personally, I want to take her to a place where it's going to be nice, so that you
Yeah.
enjoy the setting, the ambiance, or whatever, and enjoy
But
a
do you
great
think you're trying to
conversation.
impress her at that point?
Of course you are.
Well, yeah.
That's
Okay,
the whole
but-
point of a date.
But if you're trying to impress her, then you have to lead, you have to keep up with that level all the time.
Well, it's not really a level though. Like everybody knows you're not going to eat
Mhm.
like steak and lobster every day.
Right.
You know, and that's why I
So
said
she
you
is
pick-
going to enjoy it at least once a month.
right.
Yeah.
And you pick a place that's unique but not overly expensive. The whole thing is about just having a unique experience. You want to be memorable.
Like you said, Blue Water Grill.
yeah.
You want to be memorable.
There you go.
Oh, listen to Solomon.
And, you know, it's
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he's absolutely right.
You don't want,
Because then you're going to be like, oh dang.
Yeah.
he
And
took me to
social-
Taco Bell.
Social media has kind of done that because people are seeing all of these excellent restaurants on social media and they're
Correct.
like, I want to go there.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
You know, so
But do you
that's
think
also
it's just
played.
to put it on social media to like keep up with the Joneses? Like,
Well, I mean, there are people that do that, but I think there are just people that like me who love food. My mom was a chef. I
and you
love
are a
to
foodie.
cook.
You are
yeah.
a foodie. Yeah.
And I want to have a good experience with what I eat. I know good food, so I don't want to go somewhere where I'm going to be disappointed.
Sizzler.
Well, so okay, so when she says
Disappointed,
she knows
probably.
good food, the pickiest food that I am about is Mexican food.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if we go
Of
somewhere, I'm like,
course.
I don't know who made that rice, who made those beans. Like, no,
Okay, okay.
and I won't ever go there again.
This is a
Yeah.
side note.
Alright.
Sorry, mom. So my mom and I we want Mexican food. So I'm like, I'm new to the area where she's
Mhm.
at. And I was like, oh, why don't we just go to this Mexican restaurant? No, we're not gonna go there. Da, 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 da. I'm like, okay. She goes, I don't like their beans.
Yep, that's
I was
me.
like, what? I
Yep.
was like,
Of
we're
all
like,
things.
yeah.
No, but
So
that's a
wait a minute.
big thing.
So then we're like, okay. She goes, we're gonna go to this other place, but I want to make sure that make sure that their beans are right. I'm like,
Oh
what
no,
do you
it's
mean?
huge. Huge.
She's like, she walks up to the counter. Can I get a sample of your beans?
I don't know if I would.
I was like, what are you doing? Again, sorry, mom. But I was like,
I'm going outside.
yeah, I was like,
Oh
we
my
said they gave her a sample. I'm like, what if you didn't like their beans? I'll just walk out. I was like, oh my
No,
God.
like that. Like, I'm not gonna sit somewhere, and I won't say the names, but in San Pedro where we live, there's some Mexican places. Hell to the no.
Oh yeah.
Like, no. And it's because you're raised on certain, like my grandparents
Yeah.
and my mom made them a certain
Mhm.
way. I'm not saying they're good to anybody else, but this is the way we were accustomed. So now I make that. Seth is the same way. Seth is like, I'm not eating those beans. Like, those are not like my mama's.
Kathy's beans are so good.
Oh, they are very
Kathy's.
good.
Oh my
Um,
God.
Our friend Kat, our mutual
Okay.
friend. She's like my sister-in-law / best
Mhm.
friend. Yeah. So that is the pickiest thing I'm about is Mexican food.
Yeah.
But if you said,
because
hey,
you grew up with that around
yeah,
you.
if you said, let's go to this Italian place and the food wasn't that good, I'd probably still think it's amazing.
You wouldn't
because-
know.
Yeah,
I
I
think
wouldn't.
it's like Sizzler again.
Yeah.
And Grandma Kay too. She yells at me like, I don't know how you like Sizzler. That place is so cheap. And I'm like, no, it's not. It's yummy. I'm like, okay. I do love their cheese bread.
I just picture everything in like a bag. Like the
that-
bread's in a bag and it's frozen and then they just
She's
pop it
totally
in.
trying to just ruin my life right now.
I'm just saying.
I don't care how or where it came from. It is yummy.
So wait, so you won't eat sushi even today? You don't like sushi at
No,
all?
I do not eat sushi.
Not even
Can
cook,
I
not even
take
cook
you to a
sushi?
sushi restaurant?
I'll go to a sushi place, but I order like a baked lobster on a
Oh, okay,
roll.
on
Can I get a
roll.
California roll?
Yeah, exactly.
No, yeah,
Yes.
you
That is not sushi.
you would be walking home if we want to date you with a California roll.
Oh, you'd be
There
like
is
the
no
guy that
such
just
thing.
leaves you? You would just leave me?
California roll? Seriously?
That's why I said that
Wait.
ain't sushi. Are we like 5?
Would you really just be like, buy your me and Seth like well, I shouldn't say that. Out of me, my daughter, and Seth,
Solomon all he can do is shake his
Yeah.
head.
Seth is the most daring one, I would say. My daughter and I are like, where Seth's like, oh, I'll try this, I'll try that.
Yeah.
We had never really eaten other than the mom and pop Asian food places, the little hole in the walls that are like freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the only really Asian food we've ever eaten. Well, Seth plays baseball, and a
Mhm.
lot of Korean kids are on the baseball teams. And so they take him out to eat, and all of a sudden Seth is like this guru, like all those places where you fry your own meat and you
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Korean
I
barbecue.
love
yeah,
that.
Korean
yeah.
barbecue. Thank
I
you.
love Korean barbecue.
Sorry, I didn't
So
remember the name.
good.
So we go and he'll sit there and he'll do it. And the first time him and I went, we were so like inexperienced. I was like, do you have soy sauce? Can I take the meat home? And they were like, girl, what is wrong?
Yeah.
with you?"
Can't do that.
So Seth gets mad at my friend Will,
Any lemon?
who told us to go there. He's like, your friend set us up for failure. He didn't teach us. So then Seth went with his friends that were Korean from high school and on the baseball team, and they taught him everything. And Seth now makes it at our house. Like he'll go to the Asian stores and get food.
Yeah.
Where Loran and I are like, what is that? What are you doing? And he
Oh, it's
eats
so
this
good.
raw
I've done it
stuff.
at my house too. I love it.
Oh.
I had this, it's like literally a little hot plate and you put it in the middle of the table and then you buy all the stuff. It's all, and they sell the meat already pre-sliced really thin.
Mhm.
So you just go to an Asian market and you can buy
That's what Seth
everything.
says.
and
He
yeah,
Right,
I love
right.
it.
Yeah. So on a first date, if somebody was like, hey, we're going to go to this, Korean
Korean
barbecue,
barbecue.
I would be like, do you have white rice and like grilled meat, some type of grilled meat?
Yeah,
I wouldn't
you
really,
could get that
I
there,
wouldn't,
no
Yeah.
problem.
I wouldn't,
Yeah, that's a staple, I think.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really try anything. Maybe now I would, now that I'm older, but when I was younger, because I literally have 0 taste buds. Like I swear, because I'm a firm believer your palate grows as you get older, right? So when you're a small kid and your parents give you different foods, you have different flavors.
Yeah.
Well, we just had a rice and beans. Like, that's what we
Yeah.
had for the most part. I mean, we had spaghetti here or there or
Yeah.
hamburgers and cheeseburgers,
Right.
but we had Mexican food, video, all this stuff. So
Blech.
that
I think
Fidel. That's why mom made us Fidel, Popeyes, and fuck Salisbury steaks. Ugh, I'm scarred with that.
you don't like video?
I'm scarred. I am
Oh my
scarred.
gosh. When I like 2 weeks ago, we all know why, when I was kind of down and out, Jackie's mom made it for me. I was slurping that thing like, oh, it was so bomb. Like I
Yeah.
Now
love
tell me
it.
what it is.
Like they're like thin spaghetti.
Yeah, almost
noodles.
like
Oh,
a
good.
tasty it's soupy and it's noodles, but the noodles are so thin and so small, and then it's just like a
So like
sauce.
is it a Mexican ramen or something?
You know what? You could kind of say that.
Yeah, but the noodles aren't long. The noodles are literally like an inch or two long. Like
Okay.
they're
Oh,
not
okay.
like and
Okay.
so for me, I was just souping them up and
Mhm.
like it is. Oh, but it is one of my favorite dishes. But the fact
Yeah.
that he doesn't like it, I'm
That's,
shocked.
that's all my mom freaking. I was like, no, I'm
I
like you. I'm
think that's
scarred.
why I have
I'm
such a
traumatized.
I think that's why I have such a crazy palate was because my mom was a chef. She never freaking cooked the same thing twice. It was always something different. She didn't cook off of recipes. Like I am just now creating a recipe book because my mom never had one. But I want one to pass on to my son.
Yeah.
So I'm creating a recipe book now, but I think that's why my palate is like I'll try anything pretty much once.
So if you were single and you went on a first date
Mhm.
today and they wanted to go somewhere just low key, you wouldn't, because you are a foodie,
Yeah.
would you say something?
Well, I like hole in the wall restaurants.
Yeah.
So like
the mom and pop places
it
are usually
doesn't
pretty good.
like one of
Yeah.
the best places I've gotten barbecue from was off of Artesia and I can't remember the other cross street, but it's called Ham Bones. And I'm not joking. It's in a rough area and there's a tire shop next door, a gas station. It just looks like trash, but they have the best barbecue in Long Beach.
Really? Well, a lot of mom and
The
pop
best.
places do.
Oh, yeah.
The best.
But only you would know that place. So
Yeah.
would you recommend something like that?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind going there on a first date. To me, a first date, you like, what if you don't like them? Why are you going to waste your time, your money going to a fancy restaurant?
Because you're trying to impress them.
No.
But I think
you
that's
impress
fake.
them
See, and
when
I
you
think that's
when
fake.
you click.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have
Right,
a
okay.
first date, you see if you click, you vibe, and then the next date you go on a nicer one.
Yeah.
But to me, a first date, that's like breaking the ice. Like,
But would you have, by the time you went on that date, don't you think you would already be into him or not? Like texting, talking,
I mean,
kind of filling it out?
yeah, but I feel like when you see someone in person, it changes big time. I think you really get to know somebody when you're like face to face with them.
And I agree. That's why I would never do the online dating.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, I don't know you.
Oh no, back to this.
All
All right.
well,
Let me say this though. I think there's a difference between like dating, going on a first date with somebody you know. For instance, let's say it's somebody you work with already, and you know you've gotten to know them as friends and stuff, and then you say, hey, let's go out. I would be willing to spend a little bit more money on that first date because you already have a sense of who they are. Now, if you're doing it from basically like going, on an app or whatever, then yeah, you're like, okay, I ain't gonna, put out a lot of money, and that's
We're going to Applebee's.
I know that. Yeah, exactly. Unless I know I like this person. So I think
But-
there's a difference there.
Felipe was on here and he talked about his first date. Remember, he said some girls just want a free meal.
Yeah.
And he'd go to a nice place, but he's like a trooper about it. He was like, I got to eat. You got to eat.
And he has a point there.
And
I
I'm
like
like-
good food.
That's what I said.
I'm not going to take you on a date if I don't like the food.
I'm like, I don't know.
I feel him on that, but I don't really understand going to a nice restaurant for a first date. I'm not here to, support your eating habits of going to 5-star restaurants.
Well, for a girl, we're not going to pay for it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I was like,
So,
what?
but
Yeah.
my
Stephanie
thing-
sounds like she's gonna pay for it.
Yeah.
No, I'm
We can
speaking
go out.
from
You can
the
take me
man's
out.
perspective.
But as a man, I agree with her.
I'm
The
speaking
way I
from
am,
a man's
I'm
perspective.
not buying you $100 dinner and I just met you.
No, not
Like,
that much.
Yeah.
And it's probably not even $100. It's probably like $200 or $300.
$100 together.
He said he spends like $400.
Who?
This guy.
No,
Well, maybe
didn't
he's
say
just
that.
Yes,
like
he
that.
did.
Did he?
Go watch the episode back. He says, Yeah, it's like $400 or $500. But
Oh,
he
hell
said
no.
he said like 250 of it is probably me.
Oh, he did say that, right?
Or no,
Oh, you know
three
what? I do
hundred
remember.
dollars
Yeah,
of it is
He
me.
did say that.
Yeah.
See, for me, if I was a man, I don't know if I would just, but I'm like that as a woman. Like, I'm not like, there's girls out there that give all their money away to guys. I'm like, the only
Yeah.
money I'm giving away is the one that runs around in my house and thinks he owns everything. Other than that, I'm not giving some man my money or taking him out to dinner.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, if you're now dating and you've been dating, and
Yeah.
that's a whole different story. I'm just
Yeah.
saying in the beginning, I'm definitely not like saying let's go out to dinner. And it's
Yeah,
on
I was
me.
gonna say because me and Brian we switch off.
Yeah, what's
Yeah.
different?
See,
Because you guys have been
I'm
together.
not that way. Like,
But
if
they
I-
live together.
He doesn't like
Okay.
it, but
And
I
how
do
long
it
have you
anyways.
guys
I'll
been
just
together?
snatch the bill, or in order to pay, I'll like go. I'm going to the restroom, and then I'll stop and I'll be like, "Here's my card."
I did that. I did that once.
But how long have you guys been together?
13 years.
Yeah, so see,
see,
that's
well, that's
Yeah.
that's different. Yeah, like that's way different.
But no, he doesn't want me to pay, but I do.
you do that, and it pisses me off. Like if me, him, and his sister, and we all go out, like, or we
Yeah.
they'll go drink, and I'm just there, like whatever.
Yeah.
He pays, and it makes me mad because it's like, no, like we all have kids, we all have bills,
Yeah.
like.
But see,
we're,
I'm just different. It's like if I'm pursuing.
yeah, but we're not dating. Why are
Yeah.
you paying for me?
Because that's who I am.
Because he's a
Yeah.
guy, and you know what? When girls do that, we just go, "Stop it! Just stop it!"
And I
Yeah.
Just take the win
Yeah.
and be happy. Stop all that. Oh, I'm so angry that you paid the bill.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Not me,
Stop.
because when we sit down, I'm like, your half was $20. Give me your $20.
Yeah.
But see, but that's where like I said, like when if I'm dating a girl, whatever, I don't care if we're going out to eat, and even if she invites me, I'm paying. It's just
Yeah.
that's just who I am. Like when she's around me, she doesn't have to worry about it.
What is the
Yeah.
name of that restaurant, Solomon? So the next time I go on a date, I'm like, we're going here. The Bluefin?
No,
Blue Water Grill,
Blue
in
Oh,
Water
Redondo
Blue Water
Beach.
Grill. Be like, that's what
Nobu
we're.
is where you need to go.
Yeah.
What
I
kind of
wanna
food
explain-
does Nobu?
Just
no,
look
Nobu
up.
have?
I'm not gonna say nothing. Just look up Nobu when we leave here.
But I'm a steak and
It-
potato girl. So,
it is top notch.
But does it have steak?
It's very hard to get in there too.
Yeah.
All the rap guys talk about it in all their songs and stuff.
Oh,
So
I'm good.
you know.
I'm so not like
it. Yeah, but it's not about that.
You
they
can take
talk-
me to Las Brisas
They
on First
they
and
talk
Pacific.
about it to be flashy. I talk about it because the food is incredible and the environment is incredible. It's
What makes
gorgeous.
it so incredible?
It's just
You're right there.
I don't know how to
If-
explain it.
The one in Malibu,
It's
only
just
because I've driven by it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're right by the water. Like you're.
Oh,
It's,
okay.
and the inside just looks so cool. There's green plants everywhere. It's just gorgeous.
Is it?
Yeah, and they have great food on top of that. But it is a really hot restaurant. I mean, a lot of celebrities go there.
Yeah.
So
wouldn't want
it's
it.
kind of hard to get in, but I'm
Just to
telling you, you would
experience
love
it.
it.
That's why I
Yeah.
prefer would want to go there just to experience and
Yeah.
again try their food.
See, again, I think just because of my, where I grew up, how I was, like, to me, like I just said, you laughed about it, but take me to Las Brisas and I'm happy. Like that's
Yeah.
to me, that would be like if you're willing to
Yeah.
go to Las Brisas and sit down and eat.
Well,
with
you're
me, we're
risking your
good.
life eating their food.
You know what?
I'm gonna say that on a podcast, and you live in the city. What's
I
with that?
love that. Like Javier and I would go like 3:00 in the morning, 12:00 in the afternoon. Like that was our spot. Like, and yes, you're risking your life because of the neighborhood, not because of the
The
food.
food.
No, the food was bomb. I haven't been there in years.
I-
You're right. I haven't been there in years, so I don't know. But for me, I'm a more simple person. Now, if
Mhm.
it's my birthday, if it's our anniversary, then take me to some, like a
My
nice
mom
place.
ruined it for me
Why?
because I know really good food. So.
Oh yeah. And that's good that you grew up like that. And
Yeah.
my grandpa cooked a lot, so we had really good food growing up, but it was more of a little bit of Americanized food and then really
Mm.
good Mexican food.
Authentic food.
All right, so
Yeah.
Lena, I have an issue with this now. So what I'm saying is this. You talk about you want to travel the world, right?
Well, I said to Ireland.
Okay,
and-
so you want to go certain places, and
Yeah.
you want to go certain places because you're going to expand your knowledge of the world, right? You're going to see
I
different
wanna
things.
go find.
You want to have new experience, whatever the point. So what you're saying about food right now is the equivalent of you saying, I want to stay within the walls of San Pedro and
Mhm.
never, ever leave.
I can't stand it. You don't want to leave the bubble. Oh my God,
Yeah.
I couldn't.
You
Leave
know,
the
and
bubble.
you know, it's like I only want to date these guys. What are my requirements? They don't beat on you. They don't drink too much, and they
They
don't
don't.
cheat. It's
They don't
like,
Yeah.
shove
wow,
sushi
you
Which
down your
know.
is like
throat.
a normal expectation in
Yeah.
my
And
opinion.
so I'm challenging you to
I'm such a
expand your
small
palate.
city
And I'm going
girl.
to tell you what,
Yeah.
as we close out this podcast, and I'll put myself on camera here, I'm going to take you to Blue Water Grill. All
Oh,
right.
Mhm.
So you and I are going to go
see,
to
with
Blue
you, I
Water
could
Grill
go and
and
sit
we'll
down
still
and eat
experience.
because I could be real with you and be like, like,
There's
Yeah.
nothing to say to, though. It's all a new experience. It's all new stuff.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
So,
And that's
yeah.
one thing I like myself. Like I want to experience like stuff like that. Like I said, like Nobu, I want to go to experience, see what the
Yeah.
ambiance is like and whatever.
Yeah.
Like there was
We should all
a
go.
restaurant
I think
We
it would be
should.
so much
a
fun.
restaurant in San Diego was good. It was Freshwater Grill.
Oh,
I spent a freaking was what $180 on just myself.
oh, damn.
The food was just amazing. There.
Yeah.
It was so good. And the
Really?
ambiance, everything was. It's right there
Yeah.
by the Padre Stadium. Like it was.
Or have you
so
guys
good.
been to
Manny
Tantalum?
Machado. To where? Oh, I've actually been to Tantalum.
I
That's good.
love
Their food is
Tantalum.
good. Their food is
Yes.
good. But I think Solomon's are like I've spent so much of my time like in San Pedro, like Pedro people never leave, like,
Mm-mm.
and I've dated out of San Pedro and I've had fun, so it's not like I haven't. But I am such a Pedro girl,
Right.
and that's all I see, that's all I know, that's where I live. I'm so busy taking care of everybody. Now I am in the point of my life though where I want to venture out, but
Right.
it is literally like let me stick my toe in the water, stick my
Yeah.
feet. You know what I mean? It's not going to be like we went to Nashville. And when we were there for those 4 or 5 days, I was like, okay, what are we gonna eat? But Nashville steak and potatoes. That's what I ate the whole time, and the food was amazing. Like Luke Bryan was the best restaurant that I ate at. It was great, and I was happy. If I go to like Greece or Ireland, I'm like, you got bread?
You're
Honey
saying you're not
beans.
going to eat their food?
I will, but I would have to
The
like slowly
best
try
way-
it.
Yeah, the best way to experience a culture is through their food.
So like
Yeah.
Croatia, I want to go to Croatia because it's absolutely beautiful. But the food there, I'm gonna be like, oh, what do they eat? Over
All
there?
right. So I'm gonna say something different. I'm thinking you're gonna go on with an open mind. And if not, you're not doing yourself a service.
Oh, I
Yeah.
would definitely go with an open
Yeah,
mind.
you,
have
go,
to.
you
That's-
go in.
You
You
have
go
to.
when. And here's what I do when I go to a restaurant that I've never been to. I'll go in and say, "What's your most popular thing, or what are the thing you're most known for? Give me that." Let them give you
Mhm.
something that they take pride in. You
Yeah.
know,
Oh, that's
and
a
just
good-
go
yeah.
from there.
That's a good thing. That's good. All right. Well, first dates, hanging out, dating. I think we kind of got, the gist of
Food?
it.
Yeah.
Food. We know that you're a foodie and
Yeah,
I'm not.
I am,
Just
big
give me
time.
some rice and beans and fidel.
Las pizzas.
Well, Tony, thanks for coming.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Solomon, for your knowledge as always.
Absolutely, and we are going, so we can report on it next time.
We will. We will. And then please very much like, subscribe, obviously
Yep.
watch, share on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
We have a Coffee and Chaos on TikTok. We have a Coffee and Chaos on Instagram.
Mhm.
We have our personal Instagrams. If you guys have anything you guys want to hear, any topics
Yeah,
that are
send it to
interesting,
us.
yes, because we're always up for new topics.
Feel
Yeah.
free to leave it in the comments.
Oh,
Mhm.
yes. All right.
Absolutely.
We're out. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.